Shocking, my people. A guest at MICON's podcast had finished Nyesu Wike's career. According to this man, he said if Nigeria happens to be a working country, Wike by now should be behind bars. He wouldn't have been the FCT minister in the first place. This man made a shocking exposition of Wike in the FCT. The mess Wike did in 2023 should have made this man to be in prison. Guys, I will allow you guys to watch the full details of this video. Watch and tell us your opinion in the comment section.
Upon the PDP.
Absolutely.
Do you think that the PDP, they see any hope in that
No, there's
party?
no hope. There's no hope.
As far as they are concerned,
No,
it's a
there's
dead party.
No, it's a dead party. Whatever they are doing now, whatever the PDP is doing now, is a joke. In 2027, I see a situation where there will be two factions.
Of the PDP?
Of the PDP. Just take note of this. There will be two factions. And everything I've said since 2015 have come to pass both within the PDP and the APC. There will be two factions. There will be the Wike faction and there will be the PDP other faction, right? Now there will most likely be a judicial pronouncement, right? Confirming the Wike faction as the only faction that can sell nomination forms. So it is the Wike faction that will bring the candidate of the PDP.
your position now is predicated on what basis?
On records in the last 2 years.
You don't seem to be a fan of Wike anyways. You've heavily criticized him on your Twitter handle.
I was not just a fan of Wike. When Wike stood for the truth, when he fought against a federal government that was overbearing, I traveled to Port Harcourt. Seun, myself, my driver, my security, we drove by road because we didn't find any ticket. We drove from Abuja through Anambra to Port Harcourt in 2016 for the rerun. I was shot at in defense of Wike and the rest. He stood on the right part of history. Wike fought against government imposition, federal government imposition, manipulation of the election. I was in Port Harcourt live.
Oh, you almost lost your life.
I almost lost my life. I was live in Port Harcourt. I drove.
All because of Wike.
All to fight for democracy. All because we felt Wike was also on. You know, when he was in PDP, he was always, Buhari is an evil man, blah blah. Anyone who stands for the truth, no matter the risk, we will take that risk with you. When after the convention in 2021, right, and Alimony Sheriff was removed, that's December 3rd or something, in Port Harcourt, and Alimony Sheriff was removed, right, and he tried to come back and take over Walata House, right? I was the one that Wike actually appealed to make sure Alimody Sheriff did not gain access to Walata House. I was the one who locked Walata House. For 13 days, the key of Walata House was in my house.
Against Alimody Sheriff?
Against Alimody Sheriff. So, I was the one who got the police to block Walata House. Me. The key to Walata House, PDP headquarters, was with me for 13 days. So I was the one who did it.
So you once believed in Wike, but now
I once believed Wike when he was on the right path of politics.
But right now?
Right now, the man that I see is no longer the man that I used to know.
Who do you see now?
He's a man that has lost it.
In what sense?
In every sense. Wike has no bearing, he has no connection, he has no understanding of what governance is. He understands power, but he does not understand governance. He understands power in the sense that if you look at the results sheet that came out of Rivers State in the last election, you will weep for this country. I have some of them. The mutilation of result sheet just to arrive at a predetermined end of making Fubara governor, of making sure that Tinubu got certain percentage from the state, that was a joke taken too far.
But this mutilation you're talking about, they were challenged, they were discussed, they were debated in court, up to the Supreme Court.
Okay, now I'm going to say this, right? those mutilations, if they are, or rather, if they were handled by a proper judiciary, not a judiciary that has been politicized, a man like Wike should be in prison.
Based on what? Why would you throw him in prison? Well,
because I was in Rivers, and I can tell you, Seun, Wike's only claim to to power is his relationship with the president. What Wike did in 2023, what happened in Rivers in 2023, should have him in prison. No, I'm not going to mince. I'm not going to I'm not going to try to subpedal on this or say softly. I'm going to be very blunt, and I'm going to be very candid about it. The mess that happened in Rivers,
and you blame Wike for it.
Oh, there were video voice recordings of him even threatening to kill an INEC official who came from Plateau or thereabout.
And these are you've been able to authenticate this?
Let him, you see here, whatever I say, one thing I've done is every time I attack him, I attack you with fact. If Wike feels what I'm saying is wrong, you should take me to court. Please, we'll go past that. If Nigeria was a working society, if Nigeria was a working country, if Nigeria was a sane country, a man like Wike should be behind bars.
You just throw people behind bars
without
prosecuting
them? You make sure that you keep people within the law. You do not let people think they are above the law or they have grown beyond the constitution of the country.
What has he done to the offender?
A whole lot. Wike has messed up both democracy, both his own state, Rivers State, even the FCT here.
With all the roads and the
I said
projects.
Even the FCT here. You know my happiness when I was invited for this is I'll be allowed to say things the way they are. Currently in the FCT, right? Wike works with only four directors. So the 2025 budget of the FCT that is currently being implemented, right? I am daring Wike to bring all the directors in the FCT to say if any one of them contributed to the formulation of that budget, to the preparation of that budget. For the first time in the FCT, an FCT budget was prepared without the input of directors in the FCT. Wike works with only 4 directors in the FCT. Director of Lands, Chijoke. Director of Procurement, Director of Finance, and Director of Development Control. Those are the only 4 people he works with. All other directors, and I am saying this, please, me, Henry Shield, I am in Abuja, I'm not going anywhere. If Wike feels what I'm saying is wrong, I stay in the Kogoma, he should come and arrest me. Wike has bastardized the FCT.
In your own view?
Not in my view, in anybody's view. How do you run a budget without the input of the directors who are supposed to be the implementers of the budget?
But nobody is talking in the FCT.
Because they are scared of him. I am not scared of Wike.
Oh.
I am not scared of him. I'm telling you, if I meet him now, I will tell him to his face.
But doesn't mean that what you are saying is right.
But what I'm saying is true. It does not mean it's right. It just needs to be true. And if it is not true, they said he has the court. Please come and take me to the court. Please, there are so much to be exposed about this man in the FCT.
Nyesom Wike, right? That's his name.
Yes.
The
Minister of the FCT.
Yeah. That's
Media Pali,
that's the
yesterday.
title he currently bears. Now, he is saying that if Mr. Peter Obi comes back to the PDP will be destroyed because Peter Obi doesn't have the character. Having condemned PDP as a rotten party to come back to the PDP. Wike is not in a position to talk about character. Okay? He is not the one to talk about character. In fact, if he talks about character, he should question his own character. I don't know why people have problems with basic intelligence and decorum. He goes on television and he says, Peter Obi doesn't have character. Peter Obi left PDP and went to Labour Party. Now he's in ADC. In fact, it is Wike himself that destroyed the party. And he also says President Jonathan should not come and run on the platform of the PDP because he's a statesman. and all of that and all of that. He's not in a position to advise President Jonathan, just as he has made it clear that nobody can advise him. These are some of the issues in the last 24 hours. Okay? And who is he to determine the destiny of the People's Democratic Party when he is already in another political party? And I blame the media. The media gives him platform to disparage other political opponents. Yesterday he was talking about Peter Obi, he was talking about President Jonathan, he was talking about Rufai. What gives him that moral high ground to talk recklessly and unintelligently? Because the media, what is the media looking for? The media, they are the ones who go to interview him. They are the ones who collect money to put him on the air. If he's talking about the FCT, yes, fine. But if he's disparaging other political opponents, the media has an obligation to give all the other persons that have been disparaged to have a right of reply. So we should not create a situation whereby, for monetary reasons, the Nigerian media is sucking up to a minister of the Federal Republic who, in my view, is overreaching himself.
See, the Minister Wike, I think rather than doing all of this is political talk, I have work for him to do. I hear 3rd Avenue around Gwarimpa, there's a rubbish pile.
I saw
there.
you post that. It was so sad.
He should go and clean things like that. And the other place that they are rubbish pile in Abuja, because he's not busy enough. Rather than coming to play this hypocritical game he plays. The same person that is abusing Obi today.
Yes.
Please, you that are watching us, go and Google the video of Yisem Yesowiko praising Obi that he was the hero of the election. That is the one that didn't make power go to the north. That if he didn't come out, that is the hero of the election. He was praising him to high heaven.
We saw that. We took it
The
on
same
one string.
Peter Obi, Yisowiko that is saying Peter Obi distorted the party. Ask him, did he allow Atiku Abubakar, the candidate of his own party, campaign in Rivers State in the last election? Ask him. Didn't they bring this situation about, they didn't book stadium and all of that? Ask him. Didn't he destroy his party because things didn't go his favor? Didn't Dino Melaye said he called him 19 times to solicit so that he would get vice presidential ticket running spot? When he didn't get that, he scattered his party. Ask him if he had become vice presidential candidate, will he have said all he's saying? Today, that he's saying that Jonathan should be elder statesman, and ask him, is it not Jonathan's wife that solicited for him when he even wanted to emerge in the first place? Is the Jonathan's not his benefactor? Ask him. So you see, when people talk, when it favors them, and like Dr. Abati said, you are correct, and I've always said this, because they have the monopoly of media, because Nigerian media is struggling in such a way that you can buy airtime, you can come and talk. And if once they have the floor, they will talk, and people will not fact check them or anything. So he says a lot of things that are subject to fact checking. You see, when things does not go his way, he screams blue murder. He has the autonomy of thought because you can put a media chat on 2 or 3 stations and call journalists there to talk to you. And even half the time, you will not even allow the journalists talk. You will shout them down. You will destroy their credibility. You will say they don't know what they are saying. You want to even teach those that are coming to ask you questions and all of that. Wike also said many things yesterday, and that's the grouse I just have about all of this. A Jonathan running in the PDP where Wike holds will be a big problem for a Jonathan. And that's why those that are supporting him should look at this. Because with what I saw yesterday in the media charts, the PDP has not solved the Wike problem. It's still there, it's still rife. Wike was quoted to have said in that media chart that after we had done the work of fixing the party, somebody will now come. He said the same for Peter Obi, and he has a very strong point. You can hate him all you want. Oh, he was the one that scattered the party. They pushed the likes of Atiku Abubakar out with their wahala and everything. But you just thinking Jonathan will breeze in a party when them Wike ran supreme and they fought for most of these things. It's not going to hold water. Because this was the same Jonathan that was being touted for the APC at a point. That was in the last election cycle before that ambition came to naught. So for all of those that think Jonathan will be able to have a quick inroad in a party that is largely dominated by a Wike, I think they should think again. And that's where we are going to have the battle royale.
Without prejudice to the fact that Nyesom Wike, as a citizen of Nigeria, as a member of a political party, as a politician, can express his opinions, I think that he's not in a position to be presumptuous and rude on his own part to think that he can dictate options to other players within the same polity. In other words, it does not lie in his mouth to tell Mr. Peter Obi whether or not he should return to the PDP. Even if he expresses that opinion, he cannot go as far as saying that if Peter Obi decides to return to the PDP, then he will destroy the party because Peter Obi had said previously that the PDP is a rotten political party, on the basis of which he decided in the lead up to the 2023 elections to join the Labour Party. So, Nyesom Wike occupying a moral high ground. He does not have the credentials to occupy that moral high ground. He says Peter Obi will come and destroy the PDP. What is he himself doing in the PDP other than destroying the PDP? He talks about character. If it is the issue about character, he cannot be in the right place to talk about character. Because the major issue in terms of his own membership of the People's Democratic Party is about his character. He is in the party and he's sabotaging the same party and he's giving a lecture on morality. So I see a contradiction here. And I see, a conflicted personality. Personalities are conflicted when, they don't understand basic issues about decorum and even basic common sense. Now, as for President Goodluck Jonathan did not leave the party. Okay? He has always been in the party. He says President Jonathan is a statesman. He should not come to the PDP. Again, President Jonathan has not spoken on this. Yeah. The people who have spoken are his cousin, Azibaola, and also, Ikechukwu Eze, his media assistant. And they both say, we don't need anybody's advice, whether it's Keyamo or it's Nyesom Wike. And so it's a very fluid situation. But in other words, it's up to the individuals involved to make up their own minds. So let Wike not give lectures presumptuously about choices that other people can make, when he himself does not even listen to advice from other people. So the issue about character that he has raised is about him. Now, about the eligibility of President Jonathan, which is very controversial. The issue is as follows. It's a matter of law, first. It's also a matter of politics. I don't know which one you want to place first or second. Now, the truth of the matter is that there has been out there in the public domain attempts by members of the People's Democratic Party, some of them, including the governor of Bauchi State, including the senator representing Benue South, including Professor Jerry Gana and others, saying that they want President Jonathan to come back where he never left the PDP. That point must be emphasized, to lead the party. And that also Mr. Peter Obi should return to the party. He is the one that left the party ahead of the 2023 presidential elections, should return to the party. The calculation, particularly with regard to President Jonathan, that he, having been president once before now, would, return to serve only one term, and that he will serve the interests of those in the northern part of the country who are saying, bring back our Goodluck Jonathan. So there is a tendency in the north that, look, to sabotage President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to make sure that the APC leaves government and that Tinubu serves only one term. Their best bet would be a man like President Goodluck Jonathan, who has very strong international reputation, to whom many Nigerians have apologized for, the misconduct, for the misassessment, for the wrong, narrative about him in the 2015 general election. I know many people who are apologizing to him. Now they want to make up. They are now saying, oh, bring back our Jonathan, bring back our good luck, having experienced, years of bad luck under the APC government. So they say. I'm not the one making that statement affirmatively. Now, the issue that has now arisen from this is legal. Namely, Section 1371, sub 1 of the 1990 Constitution, Section 137, sub 3 of the 1999 Constitution. And those who are pushing that matter are saying that President Jonathan cannot be sworn in twice as president. But there is a subsisting Federal High Court of Yenagoa case decided upon by Justice Dashem, that's his name, when two politicians went to the Federal High Court in Yenagoa and argued that President Tinubu ahead of the 2023 election, because there were persons who were saying President Jonathan could run in the 2023 election. And Justice Dashem, quickly, in order not to go into legalese, said that, look, that amendment of Section 137, sub 3, does not apply to President Jonathan. It's a trite principle of law. Any sophomore student of law, will know that legislations, laws, enactments, statutes cannot have retroactive effect or retrospective effect. Section 137, sub 3, having been amended to say that a man who has been sworn in twice to the position of the president of Nigeria cannot run again, will not apply to President Tinubu. The position of the Dashem, which has not been appealed at a higher court of jurisdiction, is simply that the law cannot have retroactive or retrospective effect. In other words, President Goodluck Jonathan is qualified to run. And the fact, Justice Dashem also said in that particular case that he was vice president does not preclude him from running again. So on the surface of it, however, Chidi Odinkalo has written an opinion saying, look, this is a mischievous judicial system. Judges looking for favor from the Tinubu administration may want to use it, to play the game one way or the other. That's Chidi Odinkalo's opinion. But we hope that if the APC uses this matter, that the judiciary will stand up on the side of the truth of the law. Secondly, there's an opinion by Onikekwa Braithwaite. Onikekwa Braithwaite in This Day Law Pages Today. She is the law editor of This Day. She's saying there is a lacuna between Section 137 sub 1, Section 137 sub 3. Well, she tried to define what the lacuna is. But the superior argument will lie in the court of Justice Dashem and the decision, the 2022 decision, which has not yet been appealed. However, in the midst of all of this, President Jonathan himself has not spoken. I know Robert Azibaola, his cousin, rejected the advice, the counsel given by third parties, particularly Festus Keyamo, SAN. And he says, well, nobody is soliciting for, advice. President Jonathan himself has not come out categorically to say this is where I stand in this matter. Ikechukwu Eze, who is the current media advisor to President Jonathan, has also written a piece on the back page of This Day newspaper yesterday, where, he said, look, we're not looking for advice. The president can make you up his own mind. However, that's the way it is. But we would like to hear either from Mr. President Jonathan or from Mr. Peter Obi. All these speculations do not help the polity. They're not healthy, for the polity.